Today I will show you how to make a custom doorbell cover. First open FreeCAD, select the Part Design workspace and then create a new document, a new body and a new sketch. I will use the XY plane. Click on the rectangle tool and make a rectangle as shown in the video. I will set the width to 80 mm. Then I will set the length to 150 mm. Select the lower left corner, the upper right corner and the center point. Then click the Symmetry Constraint button. Now close the sketch. Click on Path and set the length to 8 mm. Now it should look like this. Click to select the top face and create a new sketch. Draw a rectangle and make it the same size as the first one. In my case it is 80 by 150 mm. Now select the lower left corner, the upper right corner and the center point and constrain it symmetrically. Take the rectangular tool again and draw another rectangle in the middle. It will be the place for the button. In my case the width is 41 mm. And I will set the length to 74 mm. The size of the button is 40 by 73 mm and I have added 1 mm extra to these dimensions. Now I will position the smaller rectangle in the center. The bottom of the button will be 20 mm away from the lower edge. Now you can close the sketch. Click on Path and set the length to 8 mm. Now click on the top face to select it, then click on Draft. I will set the angle to 2.50 degrees. So the bottom will be narrower than the top. At this point I will add a chamfer on the sides around the button. I will set the size for the left, the top and the right sides to 5 mm. You can do this by holding the Ctrl key and selecting the edges together. Finally, I will select the bottom side and set the size to 2 mm. Now select the top face and create a new sketch. Click on the External Geometry button and add the sides. Now take the Polyline tool and draw the roof of the doorbell cover. To make the curved parts, press 3 times the M key on the keyboard. You can make the roof in any shape you want. We have a redundant constraint, so we have to fix that. Click on the redundant constraint and press the Delete key on your keyboard. Now I will close the Report View window. At this point I have to make the roof the correct shape. Select both points of the curves and constrain them together. First, I will add a point to the upper line, then I will constrain that point to the center line and I will set the vertical distance between this point and the corner to 8 mm. Now I will set the vertical distance between the edge point and the corner to 25 mm. Select both lines on the sides and create an equality constraint. Set the radius of the bottom curve to 35 mm. Then set the radius of the top curve to 45 mm. Select both lines on the bottom and create an equality constraint. Now do the same with the top ones. Now we have one more thing to constrain. Click on the external geometry button and add the top side of the hole for the button. Select the leftmost point and the left point of the line and set the vertical distance to 5 mm. The sketch is fully constrained so we can close it. Now click on Path. I will rotate the model so you can see what it will look like. Set the length to 60 mm. Then choose Custom Direction from the drop-down menu. Set the Y cell to -0.54 and click on OK. Now I will select the top face and I will click on Draft. I will click Neutral Plane, then I will select the front. Finally, I will set the draft angle to 11.50 degrees. Now I will select all segments of the edge along the roof and I will add a chamfer. The size will be 8 mm. The last thing I will make will be to add a chamfer to the edges on both sides. The size will be 5 mm. So this is what the doorbell cover will look like. Now click on Model, then on Body to select everything. Go to File and Export to save the file as .stl. I sent the file to my printer right after that. I'm using PETG because it is more durable than the PLA. No supports were needed to print this project. To mount it, I will use self-drilling screws. First I will mount the cover to the door, then I will screw the button to the cover and the screws won't be visible. This is the final result. Now have a nice day and see you in my next video.